Hi, I am Kaushik and welcome to Mastering Maven for Java projects. In this video, we are going to learn how to set up the Maven for your project. We are going to learn how to install the Maven and set up the Maven path in the macOS and followed by the Windows OS. We are also going to create our first Maven project using the terminal, and also quickly we'll learn how to create the project with the help of IntelliJ IDE. Let's get started now. We are going to first do the installation on the macOS. Head over to Apache Maven website. You can Google it or you can find the link in the description. As we know, Maven is for Java projects, so the prerequisite is very simple. We have to install the JDK, that is version 8 and 8 or above. I'm going to use the version 21. The recommended way to use the Apache Maven in macOS is using the homebrew, that is a software management package, but it will always install the latest version of JDK, that is currently 24. But we are going to focus on the 21 version of JDK. So we are going to download and install the JDK manually, and then we will set up the path for both JDK as well as Maven. Let's get started again. You can quickly search Java download on Google and head over to the Oracle page, and then from here you can select the JDK version 21, and based on your operating system, in my case it's macOS, then you can install the installer. It can be like 64 DMG version or the ARM64. As I'm using the Apple Silicon, I'm going to go with this ARM64 version. Once that is downloaded, just go and open the file. In my case here already I have downloaded, so let's go and double click on this, and then again double click on the package file. You'll see the installer something like this. Just click on the continue button and then followed by continue, and if you want you can change the location, but I will not recommend it to do that. So let's click on the install button, and of course it will ask your credentials, so give the credential and click on the install software. It will take few seconds and we can see that installation is succeeded. Now we can simply close this, and of course if you don't want the package anymore, you can click the move to bin, so your downloaded file will be deleted. Now if you go to your terminal and type java-version, you'll be able to see that we have installed the Java 21.0.8 version, and that is correct. But when we are going to use the Maven, it needs to be know where the JDK path is there. So we are going to do the setup one more time. Before that, let's go to our Apache Maven website again, and here you can see like we have few files. So we are going to download the binary zip archive, and it's going to be common for both, or I can say all the OSs. So just go and click on this bin.zip file, and the latest version is 3.9.11. Of course we have 4 version, but that is not long-term support, so let's go and use the same version. Now here we have this zip file. I can just double click to extract it, and within this you can see we have the bin folder. Now let's go back to our Maven parent folder, and we are going to use this path to set in our terminal. So I'm going to use option and then followed by right click or double tap on your trackpad, and you can click on this copy Apache Maven as path name. Now we have to set few path in the terminal. So already I have mentioned in this particular notes. So because it's a one-time process and we don't have to remember much, and the process is going to be very same for all the Mac OSs. So for example, here I have given the copied path, and here what we are doing actually is very simple. So first of all, we are going to use the ZSH to set the path. So here we will say like nano, then followed by the ZSH. So I'm going to bring up my terminal here, and let's increase the font a bit, command plus to increase. Yeah. And here I'm going to use nano, then followed by ZHR. And already we have few of the path, and these are my old things. So I'm just going to, okay, let's only delete the JDK path, and other things we should not touch. So let's go and do that. In your case, if you do not use any other things like node or any other setup, probably you won't see, and this is going to be very empty for you. But in my case, since I already use Maven a lot, and there is also that Angular things, so I can see this, but in your case it might be little different, but nothing to worry. So we are just going to add the values here, and I will leave this in the description. You can go and check it out. Okay, so let me command V to paste. So what we are doing is, first of all, we are going to set the Java home, and we are going to say it will be in the user library executive, and then followed by Java _home, and the version is going to 21. In your case, if you are using 24 or 8, probably you can change the number, and this is going to be very same for all the users or all the OSs in Mac, so you can copy the same. And then followed by, we are going to set the path, and we are going to use the Java home as a variable here. So $, then followed by the Java home, and we are targeting the bin folder, and we are setting the path. Similarly, we are going to use the M2 home, and this is our root of the downloaded and extracted Apache Maven folder. And from there, of course, we are going to use the bin folder. So that's why we have path, and then followed by M2 home, this is this variable, and then followed by bin, and we are setting the path. Now to save it, you have to use Control O and click on enter, and then Control X to exit from the editor. Now we are going to restart this terminal, so we are going to use the source and then followed by the ZHR. If you are on the older version of macOS, probably instead of ZHR you can also use the bash here. Okay, I'll leave the source in the, or I will leave the command in the description. You can go and check it out. By the way, I'm on the latest version of macOS. Okay, now here we are going to say Java, then followed by -v, so we can, okay, sorry, dash version, not v, so we can see the JDK version, and that is 21.0.8. then followed by, we are going to say mvn-v, and that's going to be your Maven version. So here we can see it's in the 3.9.11 is the latest version, and this is my Maven home path. And then we have the JDK path, which is in this particular location. Okay, now I'm going to check whether the setup is correct or not. So I'm just going to kill my terminal or quit my terminal, and I'm going to bring up my terminal once again, and then I'm going to say mvn-v, and here we are getting that mean, of course it's correct. Okay, now let's close this terminal, and we are going to create a new folder here. Let's make it like mvn demo, or let's be specific, maven-demo. Okay, now I'm going to bring up my terminal within this. So here, if I give ls, that is to list all the files or folders within the folder, you can see it's probably empty. Now let's bring up the terminal a bit wider. Okay, now we are going to create the Maven simple project, and for that we have this command. Usually I use terminals, not terminals, I mean the ID, so I'm not memorizing this command, so I'm just going to copy and paste over here, but of course I'm going to explain now. So here we are saying we want the Maven to create a project, and we are using the command called architect and generate. Generate is basically you're creating a project, and then followed by we have group ID. Group ID is nothing but you can consider this to be your folder, or maybe the parent of the project, root of the project. So here I'm going to make it as com.lambda test. Let's keep it all in lowercase, that is the standard. And then we have the artifact ID, that is going to be your project name, or the like once we create the folder com.lambda test, within that we have this project called my Maven first project. Okay, then we have the artifact ID, and here we are going to say which architecture type we want to generate. So we'll say like it's going to be a quick start, and then followed by interactive mode. False means it will not ask you further questions, it will just simply go and create the project for you. But if you want, you can set this to true and try it out, and do let me know in the comments. So I'm going to click on the center, and here you can see like it's just going and downloading some files from the Maven repository. So as we discussed in the first tutorial of this series, that Maven always stores the data in your local M2 folder, and then from there it will use all the dependencies. Now here you can see like we have build the success, that means of course your project is generated. Now I'm going to give ls. Now here you can see like we have this particular folder, that is the project name, right? Now if I go inside the project and give ls, you can see like we have this pom.xml, then followed by src. Of course we are not going to use the terminal that much, at least for this tutorial. So let's go back to the folder. So it is in the Maven demo, and then followed by Maven first project. And if you see within the src, we have the main folder, and within that we have Java, then followed by com, and then followed by lambda test, and then we have the app.java. And then if you come back, okay, I did a small mistake here. So here we have used this command, right? Yeah. So group ID is nothing but your project name, and artifact ID is your root of the folder. So here we can see like within the Maven project, my first Maven project, then we have this SRC where we have main and test folder. Of course, you can take a look at all this. So I'm going to quickly bring up my VS Code editor so that we can see this in a better way. So let's go and open a folder, first project, and click on open. Okay, so this is your default structure of your Maven project. Now if you go to the pom.xml, here you can see like we have the same details whatever we have given. Yeah, let's close this. Yeah, so here we have the basic structure. We'll learn about this more in the upcoming videos, but for starter, of course, we have like the model version is 4.0.0, and we have a group ID called com.lambda-test, whatever we have set in the terminal that we can see here. Then followed by the artifact ID, and packaging is jar. We will learn about the packaging more in our upcoming videos. Okay, and then we have a version, and this is the project name, and then we have a URL, that's the M2 repository URL, or also we can say the from where we have downloaded the Apache Maven. Okay, then we have dependencies, and within that we have dependencies, and as of now we have JUnit. JUnit is a unit testing library, of course you know that. And then we have SRC, and within the SRC we have the Java main Java com.lambda-test, and then followed by app.java. So this is your starting point of your execution, I can say. And then we have of course the test folder where we have the unit test cases for this. Okay, so that's it, very simple. I hope you have learned how to create the project in the using the terminal. Okay, you can do the same with the help of IDE as well. So I'm going to quickly bring up my IntelliJ IDE. So, and of course we are going to click on the new project, and then followed by we are going to say it's going to be Maven. And here you can see like since already we have downloaded the JDK 21 and we have to set the path, we can see like here we are seeing this open JDK 21. Okay, and then we are going to give the name. So let's name it like Maven dash or Maven demo, and location it will store in the IntelliJ the default project, but we can change. So we can go to documents or downloads, and then followed by we will create a new folder. Let's name it like mvn dash intel, or Intel ID I mean. Okay, now click on the open. So in this location we are going to save. Now let's do the create, and of course it's very simple compared to the terminal. So this is the default structure. You can see like we have the you can give allow. Yeah, we can give this very detailed structure here. Okay, so pom.xml is the starting point of the Maven project. We'll talk about this more in our upcoming videos. Okay, now let's quickly see how to do the installation in the Windows machine. So of course we need the JDK. So let's go to our program file. So already I have the JDK file, I have installed it, and this is in the program files. And if you go inside the Java, and then followed by we have the same version as we did in the macOS, that is JDK 21. So I'm just going to copy the path here, and then you can go to your search and type edit the system environment variables, and here we are going to click on the environment variables, then followed by here we are going to click on new, and then followed by Java underscore and followed by home. And here we are going to give the path. So it should be your JDK path. Okay, and then followed by we are going to create the bin. So let's go and edit, click on the new here, and here we are going to say again Java underscore home, and here we are going to give along with the bin here. Okay, so that's it. Click on OK and click on OK again. Now click on OK again. Now go to your command prompt or Windows bash. So here I'm going to say Java, then followed by dash version. Now I can see we have the JDK version, that is 21.06. Okay, now already I have downloaded and saved the Apache Maven in my C drive. So within the Windows C, Apache Maven, the same 3.9.11. yeah, now we can go inside this, and we are going to copy this folder, and again we'll go to the edit system environments, not this one, and we're going to click on the environment variables, and here we are going to say Apache underscore Maven, and we are going to give the copied path. Click on OK, and once user variable is set, then go to the system variable, click on new, and here I can say Apache underscore Maven, and then we can give the /bin path. Okay, then click on OK and click on OK and click on OK here. Now again open up your command prompt Do not use the already opened one, so use new one. And I'm going to say mvn, then followed by -v, and here we can see that we have the Apache Maven. So it's going to be very simpler compared to the Mac OS, but yeah. By the way, the commands whatever we are going to use on the Mac or the Windows, the mvn commands are going to be exactly same. Now let's take a quick glance of whatever we have learned today. So of course we have learned how to set up the Maven in your Mac OS as well as in the Windows. We have learned how to set the JDK path and as well as the Maven path. Then followed by we have created our first Maven project with the help of terminal as well as IDE. We'll learn about the folder structure and also the Maven dependency in our upcoming videos. Okay, so that's it from my side. If you have any queries, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'll be happy to reply. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one very soon.